X-Pac, 1, 2, 3, 60.
Let's just get right into it.
Yeah, let's talk about Dominion.
Yeah. Everything that's been said by people about, praising Naito and Jericho and Okada, Omega, can't argue with any of it.
No.
None of it. And I know people have their different, things that, that's not their cup of tea or whatever, but, man, it's really hard to look at that. Well, especially the Omega Okada match. And like, you, when you watch that match, you have to be ready to hunker down and have the drinks and everything, and because you're there for a while.
You're there for a story.
Yeah,
and those two told a story.
Yes, and man, it was over an hour.
Yeah, I think they went 63 or 64 minutes.
Yeah,
easily.
Yes, and so, okay, when I hear, okay, Meltzer said this was, I don't know what he said.
7 stars or something.
Okay.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Did he say 7?
I saw online it was like Meltzer gives first 7-star rating to Okada. So
good.
Hey man, it's his
rating. He can do whatever
system.
he wants.
He can do it. and so I'm going, okay, I want to see why he said that. And so I go back and I watched it carefully and just look. Some of that stuff is just whole nother level shit we're talking about here. Really, really intricate stuff that isn't hard to follow though. Mm-hmm. Because you could get all convoluted in your own head when you're putting matches together. Because I know some people that have been that way. They put their matches together to entertain themselves. And then when it just doesn't translate to the people, it's just so much shit going on, and you don't But the thing about this is that when I saw that kind of stuff in this match, it's I got it.
Yeah.
It was real. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Just certain things, just ways of going in and out of things that I would never even imagine doing, before. And it's such a pleasure to be able to watch that.
Something that comes to mind is when Okada knocks Kenny off the apron and he hits his side on the guardrail. I legit thought, oh man, he might not be able to continue in this match because it looks so bad and he sold it so well.
Right.
Yeah.
That it's just little things like that have you invested, that the average fan just turning the channel can see something like that and already catch onto the story and what's going on.
Or just blocking the guy's rainmaker with the kick to the arm,
Or softening each other up. A lot of times in shorter matches, you don't have that. With this, these are two guys literally doing whatever possible to get the advantage. If that means slapping you in the back, I'm going to slap you in the back. And it's just from start to finish, it had you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about this match in particular is, like we said, it went close to 70 minutes, which is a long time, and clearly it didn't feel like it. But the interesting thing about this is that we were saying they told a story. From the start, Kenny's strategy was, hey, I want to win the first fall. When he didn't, people were like, how on earth is he going to get Okada to lose, 2 falls in a row? That's insane. And then the fact that, so the first 3 matches, he couldn't get the One-Winged Angel. He couldn't get it. Finally, 2 afterwards, he gets it. So it was kind of this whole story that ended up building up, where it was just when it happened, people were in shock. They were in awe, this incredible long match, but it didn't feel like it was just a wild ride. And I feel like that's what's missing a lot in wrestling, is that we like to be taken on this roller coaster of a ride with a storyline. It just captivates you.
Yeah. And it's just... It makes me chuckle sometimes when I read people go, they have no psychology in their matches. Bullshit. And way more so now than before. I think they've in the last few years really concentrated on having their matches tell great stories.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Look, because it's a different kind of psychology, doesn't mean they don't have their psychology. And it's always been that way over there. And just like Mexico, I don't agree with the Mexican way of doing it. It's backwards ass as F to me.
Sure.
But it works down there. It does. Mind you, the way I did it worked down there even better. I'm not gonna lie. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. But that's that's just things grow in different parts of the world, and they have their own flavors to them. And it's just is something we're not familiar with, so we immediately shun it or you know, or put it down or whatever.
And to both your points about the storytelling, you can tell this was really planned out, because you mentioned the first 2 times Kenny could not get the win, or he couldn't hit the one wing angel. Well, all of a sudden, 2 out of 3 falls. You could tell the booking was done so far, and that's when things are the best, when you really have time to tell a story. 720-day title reign too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and people like were criticizing New Japan, Gato as the booker of New Japan, for keeping that belt on Okada all this time,
But
and it was the best
Yes.
thing they could have done. So smart. I've seen so many people go, oh, okay, yeah, it was the right thing to do.
Because we're in a very impatient culture now.
Oh, absolutely.
People want
What they want,
microwave.
they want it now.
Exactly.
Well, I've always said this. Like, for me, long title reigns are everything, because I feel it definitely makes the belt seem more important. And when you actually beat the guy that's been held it for however long, you're just like, it means that much more. And I actually wrote this down because in the last 7 years, the only champions for IWGP heavyweight title have been Tanahashi, Okada, Styles, and Naito. So that's only 4, and now Kenny. Like,
Yes.
that's insane. You know, that's it makes it more important, and I like that.
Wins and losses matter. Absolutely. And if they don't, then whatever we're talking about doesn't really matter nearly as much. Like, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I had a better way of putting that, like in a tweet a couple of weeks ago. But anyways, let's just go on to Naito and Jericho.
Yeah, I just want to say this. What he did after the match is going to make Naito an even bigger star.
Yeah.
He wins the title, and it's still not enough, and then he attacks
That's right.
him anyway. Brilliant.
So, just actually brilliant, like from start to finish, how the match was laid out and paced, and it. So, what do you think that match went? 30 minutes,
At least.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
I'm guessing but it was long enough to be long enough, if that makes sense. I have a weird way of saying things sometimes, but it wasn't so long that, you know, they had to hunker down. That was for Okada and you know, and Omega to do. This was plenty long enough, and way more than long enough.
Sure.
And just the story was excellent, and yeah, Johnny, like you said,